Hi guys, happy Friday. Welcome to Design Exchange. I'm your host, Danny Russo, and Melinda is out today. And I'm joined by special guest, Lloyd Haack of Prosource Wholesale. And we are here in the showroom in Columbus, Ohio. So, Lloyd, you are my flooring go-to. Anytime I have a question, anytime I need anything, I can always defer to calling you. And you have explained to me the differences between engineered wood, hardwood, laminate flooring, and we've had a lot of technological advances in the field of laminates and hardwoods. How did you get into this business?
Oh gosh. So I've been in the business quite a while. I mean, when I say quite a while, I've been at this company for almost 18 years now. So time goes by fast.
And
right?
you're only 23, right?
Yeah, I'm 24 now. So
You're doing
I
it since
started
you were
early.
4.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got into the business. I was working for a custom home builder, making selections for the roofing materials, the siding material, the stone, you name it, all the different products. And I was fresh out of design school, and I realized there is a lot of stuff to pick out, right?
Oh yeah,
A lot
of
of
stuff to
decisions.
pick
And
out.
not only do you have to pick it all out, but you have to be an expert in every one of those products, right?
Exactly.
And when you're doing a really nice home in an upscale neighborhood, you don't want the same stone or the same roof shingle next to the neighbor's house.
Exactly.
And so it was a lot of stuff to keep track of. And I got connected with a Carpet One store, which is part of the umbrella that ProSource is under. And I actually just was going to work in the front office and answer phones, and the
We
owner
all have to
was
start
like,
somewhere.
"Yeah," she was like, "I'd be crazy to hire you as a salesperson or to answer the phones. You're a salesperson."
Yeah.
And so that's how I got
And you're
into
also a
business.
really good designer.
Thank
I've
you,
seen you
thank
do
you.
your kitchen,
Yeah,
and
thank
I've
you.
seen a lot of stuff that you've done.
I love it. I love improving spaces and making stuff feel comfortable and fun to be in.
Yes.
But focusing on flooring and then later cabinets and countertops, it was a lot more honed in experience for me and for
Yes.
my clients. So I just
A lot of
kind
our
found my niche.
clients don't understand the amount of decisions that go into making a home
Right.
and building a home, especially when you're on the
Right.
level of $1 million to $3 million home.
Mhm.
Even if it's a smaller home, I wouldn't say $50,000, but no home costs $50,000 these days. But there are so many little details that go into it that a designer thinks about. And we are continually coming to places like ProSource, talking to people like Lloyd, going to the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, being part of the National Kitchen and Bath Organization. I believe you're the treasurer of the NKBA.
So for 2024, I'm the programs director for National Kitchen Bath Association Central Ohio chapter.
Yes.
So we've got lots of fun events planned for next year. So yeah.
So it can be a daunting task to select all of the things you need. And that's why you really need a designer. So ProSource is a national company that has a little bit of everything for inside the home. Mainly flooring, carpet, you
Cabinets,
do cabinets,
countertops.
Yep,
Hardware.
Hardware. I'm surprised you don't sell wallpaper yet.
Yeah, we don't really, I mean, there are some locations that do a little bit of that, but really we're more the hardware, the cabinets, countertops, but we also have access to like toilets, bathtubs, shower surrounds. We do quite a bit of shower surrounds, area rugs.
This is one of my secrets. So I have a great account manager here, and whenever I'm starting a project, I'm coming in and picking out broadloom carpet, and I'm turning it into area rugs.
Yep.
People have different opinions. My belief is your flooring should always be a hard surface and then a soft surface
Build
on top
of it. Yep.
And I love coming here and picking out Stanton carpets or cane carpets and turning those into area rugs, doing unique shapes, unique bindings, and that really sets a project off for me.
Yeah, it really completes a space too and makes it more comfortable. The area rug also allows you to compartmentalize and keep an area focused for a seating area or whatever you're trying to accomplish, or a dining area.
And the people are so knowledgeable. When we come in as designers, I have an issue trying to figure out serging versus binding versus rolled edge. I know it, but I always have to call to figure out which one's which.
Right. So your account manager is your phone a friend, right?
Yes, exactly. Phone a friend, text a friend, but not the general public can come into a ProSource.
Right. That's right.
So you have to be part of the trade, and the trade includes a builder and
interior designers, builders, remodelers, general contractors, and really we're trade professionals are who our number one customer is. And so we're not open to the general public, but we will work with the general public when they're working with an interior
Yes.
designer. So we'll work with their clients. So really our focus is project, helping complete projects for the trade professionals and their clients.
Exactly.
So-
I've sent so many clients in, and I've had such a good experience. I've had a relationship with you guys for probably about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So your expertise, and you blew my mind, we're going to circle back to flooring.
Okay.
So most people think that the Cadillac of flooring is going to be hardwood floors.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, I've come to realize that if you're building a condo or you have a slab of concrete, you can't put hardwood flooring down on that slab. Is that still
You can with
true?
limitations, right? There's always going to be limitations, always special exceptions, there's always a way to do something, right? But
There's always a way.
yeah, there's
and
always a way to do something.
It's
but,
if you have the money, the way will work.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But like you were
Concrete
talking-
takes 10 years to cure from what I've
and
learned.
that's the thing with concrete is you've got moisture. You've always got moisture coming from the dirt underground that's coming up through the slab
Yeah.
and dissipating into the home. So that's where mitigation of the moisture really is important, and making sure that you've got good moisture blocking glues or adhesives or vapor barriers. And those impact a variety of products in the home, but when it's wood flooring and it's sitting right on that slab, it's pretty important that it's not coming in contact with moisture.
You told me something years ago, and it was that we are in the Midwest. We're in a temperate climate,
Yeah.
and we have 4 seasons a year. And you told me that engineered wood is always the best route to go instead
Certainly.
of hardwood.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah, so an engineered product, we'll back up with wood. Wood is always going to expand and contract across its grain, right?
Yes.
So a solid hardwood, traditionally, which is a 3/4 inch solid hardwood, that product's going to expand and contract pretty dynamically.
Yes.
What's been really popular with designers is the 5-inch, 7-inch, 9-inch wide planks, and we want
And
those
mixing them all
wide
together,
planks
too.
Exactly, mix them all together, and
Yeah.
but also long planks. So when that wood is expanding and contracting across its grain, a wider plank is going to be much more dynamic than a narrower plank.
Yes.
And so it's become very difficult to do those wide planks in a 3/4 inch product in a home, especially here in the Midwest, where it can be 40 degrees one day, 70 degrees the next. I mean, today's a good example. It's November 16th, and it's
Yes.
pretty nice outside, right?
Yes. It's a beautiful day.
So where the engineered wood floors come in is that they're comprised of different layers that are alternating directions of the grain. So now each layer is working against each other as it's built up. So you have a more structurally sound product that's less, it's going to expand and contract less. So we can accomplish those wider widths and longer lengths in the home. So
You've also told me, what is the, right now, I can't even speak for it because the prices have been fluctuating like crazy, but
Yeah.
what is the average price of, I know the thickness of the top layer is crucial.
sure.
And what is the price of, let's say, an average versus a high-end engineered wood floor?
Gosh, I mean, the range is as dynamic as the expansion and contraction.
Well, you'll see these commercials on TV and they'll say, oh, come get engineered wood flooring for 99 cents a square foot.
Not
or
that low. That's
$2.99
cheap. Yeah,
a
that's-
square foot.
Yeah, that's pretty much junk. I mean, you
And
get what you pay
yes,
for.
you
know,
do.
You're going to get what you pay for with flooring, just like anything else that you buy. But for engineered floors, I mean, most of your products that are going to be of good quality are going to start in the low to mid fours. That's
Yeah.
going to be pretty value priced product, and go as high as 14, 15 plus
I've seen them for
$18 a square foot. But your sweet spot really is probably closer to the $6 to $8 window still, maybe $9 for a really nice product, but you're still going to be able to get some pretty nice products in that price point.
And we've talked before about, I've had a lot of clients that want to refinish their engineered wood floors. And you advise against that. So the more
Right.
expensive the product, what I've learned from you is the more expensive the product, the thicker the grain is on top, and the more able you are to refinish it. When you're down into that $6 to $12 range,
Right.
and you do go to refinish it, you may only be able to refinish it once. And I
Right.
believe what your advice was when you do go to refinish it, you're stripping the grain, which is the beauty of the floor.
Right, you're stripping that, but also many of these hardwoods now in the engineered category, they're having multiple steps of finish on them. They also have texture, where they're not completely flat.
No.
So you've got different finishes, you've got hand staining. Some products you have multiple different colors, and that's part of what you're paying for too. So if you're going to sand it, you're really taking all of that away.
Yeah, you're taking the money. You're sanding the money away.
Yeah, you're sanding it away. And the other thing too is talking about technology in floors. The technology today and how a floor is finished compared to when I started is way different. And
we've been in this the same
I'm not as old
time
as the flooring industry. So I mean, there's been quite a bit of changes, but these finishes are designed to last a very long time. And that part of that is because the manufacturing process, right? We used to site finish a floor and apply
the stain,
a urethane finish over the top of it, and then that would wear down and need to be redone. But the finishes today are applied in the factory. They're applied with urethanes, aluminum oxides. They're UV cured, so they're actually passing the boards of wood under UV lights in the factory and essentially baking that finish on. So you're getting a lot stronger finish than what we could apply in the house. So
here's a question I'm going to ask you, and I heard this from a different flooring vendor.
Okay.
And I asked them what was the best product to use to clean engineered wood floors. And the person that sold them to me told me Windex.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, well, why would I use Windex to clean a floor? He said that the polyurethane coat is basically like fiberglass. So this was years ago.
See, this is why you go to ProSource. So, we won't tell you that here.
This was years ago, and I was like, okay. I mean, I guess you could use that, but what do you recommend to clean?
Right. So, I mean, you don't want to use anything abrasive on the wood floors. I mean, my real answer is you read what the manufacturer recommends, because all flooring is different and not all finishes are created equally. So I would always default to your account manager or the sales professional that you're working with and look at, okay, what does the manufacturer recommend that I clean this floor with? The general safe is vinegar and water, because it has
if you want to be natural,
pH balance,
vinegar and water.
but it's also pH balance. It's not going to be too harsh on the floor, and it's still going to do some cleaning. So
what about Bona?
Bona's
I feel
a
like
good
that's
cleaner.
the most popular.
Yeah, Bona's a good cleaner.
I always used to tell people use Murphy's oil soap.
Don't do that
but
either.
if you do Murphy's oil soap on your floor, you end up getting a film on top of it.
Exactly, yeah.
And I guess you would only use Murphy's oil soap if you do have an unfinished, unsealed
maybe, I think they used to use that in maybe the 80s or something when we were born. Our moms used to use that. But no, you don't want to use those kind of products. It does smell good, but it's not what we want to put on the floors in our house.
No. And we were around when we had rolled linoleum.
Right.
As
we were
floors.
just talking about that today. Kim and I were talking about that today.
And it's actually come back, and they've been using it in hospitals, and I've been seeing it in doctors' offices. Yeah. And they actually print the hardwood board lines onto the linoleum. But linoleum has evolved and become what we now refer to as
sheet vinyl. Really?
Vinyl.
Linoleum's a real natural product. Right?
Does that relate to LVT? Is it the same kind of product?
Not really.
Tell me the difference between laminate and LVT.
Laminate and LVT?
Yeah.
So a laminate is a wood-based product. So it's essentially sawdust or particle board compressed into a high-density board, and then it has a laminated layer, just basically like paper printed with a wood picture, goes over the top, and then it has your wear layer on top. So laminates are very indent resistant. They're wood based, and then again, with being compressed really hard, they're very indent resistant. An LVP or a waterproof vinyl product, luxury vinyl plank. There's a lot of names in the industry, right? We've heard of SPC, which is your stone polymer cores, WPCs, which are your wood polymer cores, and you might hear all these different terms, but essentially they're vinyl plank flooring, right? And the difference with the stone, they've got stone particles or wood particles in them with the polymers, but essentially we just call them waterproof flooring, and so that's become a big category.
This is a new category.
It's I guess new in the scheme
we always had
of
water
things,
resistant, or we had moisture resistant. I hate to use the word moisture proof.
Yeah, or waterproof. I hate it too.
But they've come out with, so what we were talking the other day. So LVP, luxury vinyl plank.
Yes.
it used to be we would only do it in maybe a bonus room, we would do it in a basement, but the technology's advanced so much that we're actually seeing it being done in $1 million homes.
And I think that's just from the consumer demand.
It is.
Right? The consumers just want it everywhere. And essentially, they're plastic floors, if we're real about it.
Yes.
You know? I mean, pretty much. Not completely, because they're not plastic, but, you know, they're vinyl-based product floors.
So how did the waterproof thing come out? Because I know you have a
display
in here. So the floor
itself is not impacted by water. And so I think what you're getting at, too, is with laminate floors, there's now waterproof laminates, which we have the one up front with the water running over the actual sample. It's been running for a couple weeks now, you know, or a couple months, right? Yeah, so it's just got water continually going over.
Tell me what we have here.
So I pulled a couple things for you. So the two products here are stone polymer core vinyl products, okay? So they're a click-together vinyl plank, wood look, and again, this is an image. And this product right here from LW. This is an image? Yeah, so it's basically a photograph of a wood. These natural colors are really popular where you've got your, I call it like the raw natural kind of
look. We are seeing that trending. I call it Santa Fe, New Mexico-y, boho-y. Yeah. But these are coming back. I love the texture. There's actually texture in this.
There's definitely texture in it. Yep. And
it's printed.
Yep. This is embossed. So the pattern is embossed with the picture. So when you see the knot, you can actually feel the knot. This little black streak here, you can feel the character. So especially when you've got sunlight coming in across a room, that's going to catch on those little.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of dimension to this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna enhance the look. It's going to appear more realistic, just like an authentic real wood floor would look. The pictures on the back never do it justice.
Right? These are always photoshopped.
Right, exactly.
Because
and they never really look like what the floor does. That's why you come into the showroom for the sample.
You were telling me about this, and there's no one plank that's the same, right?
On this product, there is. So with any of your vinyl products, any of your vinyl planks, that's, in my opinion, one of the downsides to it, is that there is pattern repeat.
Yes.
Because again, it's a picture, and so they only have so many patterns, and it doesn't matter what brand you buy, there's going to be a pattern repeat in this type of product. And so it's important for the consumer to know that, just because, especially if you're a little OCD and you know that you've got that line right there.
I've seen some of them that look really bad, and they use one pattern, repeated over and over.
And a good bit of advice on that is that when you've got a pattern that has a strong pattern, right, where it's got very unique characteristics of, say, knots or grains, that's going to be a lot easier to pick out and see the repeats throughout the room than something that's more subtle. So when you're looking for an LVP, I would go for a product that doesn't have something that screams out at you, because you're not going to notice it through the rest of the house as much. So the things I pulled here definitely have more of those subtle looks. Now this product right here, also a stone polymer core. This Evoke product has a nice, good wear layer on the top of it. This one has
gorgeous
painted bevel. So they bevel the side of this. So like real wood floors or engineered floors, you're going to have that bevel.
You always want to have a bevel in your floors. Otherwise, they almost look fake.
Yeah, I agree. And that's because 99% of the wood almost is pre-finished anymore, right? We don't see a lot of site finish.
Most of the world.
Forests.
Yeah.
I feel bad about that.
But this is great. You have this. This is waterproof.
Yep, completely waterproof. Click together. So it'll click together, and it's floating. So it's not getting nailed down.
Lifetime residential warranty.
Right.
Pet friendly.
Yep.
What happens? So this is stone polymer on the back.
So the core of it is basically polymers, vinyl product, and some stone additives to it as well. So this product will hold up well it's going to be fairly indent resistant.
That was going to be my next question.
Yep.
If you drop a can,
you're going to be pretty safe with this product.
Really?
Yep, it's going to hold up pretty well for you.
And how much does this run a square foot?
So this product here, you're actually in about the mid-4s, low 4s on this product. So it's a good priced option for a vinyl that looks realistic, because that's the big thing with this one.
Is this new?
The Evoke, this is actually a newer color, the Griffin is.
Because I was going to say, they have the green, which is going to be trending for 2024.
Yep, got to have the green.
And they have the boho rug under the bed.
And got the natural. This company, we do a lot with the Evoke line, and they're very fashion forward. So good looking products and nice quality.
And this is the waterproof.
Yep, completely waterproof.
Completely. So could you do this in a garage?
I probably wouldn't, just because in a garage I would do a glue down product, So there's a lot of torque from the car wheels that could cause the product to come out from underneath the car.
I don't know anything about torque.
The average client that we have that's going to put it in their garage, they're probably going to have some powerful vehicles that we don't want on a floating floor. So
True. I didn't think about that.
Probably not do that. Yeah. And then this product, this is a really cool one. So this is from our Resista H2O line, which is a line that you get at any ProSource showroom, and it's exclusive to ProSource. So pretty awesome stuff. But this is a real wood veneer, and you can see it actually looks pretty good like the other ones. But this is a real piece of wood veneer over top of a stone polymer core. So it's a waterproof wood. The coolest thing about this category, and this hasn't caught on as fast, a lot of consumers just don't know about it, but this is a real wood veneer. So no two pieces are going to be the same. This knot is never going to repeat through the floor, as is this one. None of the grain's going to repeat. It's all natural.
What kind of wood is this?
So this one, I don't even know, honestly. I just pulled it because it was pretty, but I'm pretty sure it's oak. Yeah, it's white oak.
White oak.
Yep, white oak. So you're going to have your oak grains, your cathedral kind of style grains, some filled knots. You can see where they fill the knot right there with, I think they use like an epoxy in that.
You've had some really good LVTs that have, I've even found them from a client's, it was a $3 million home. She had it in her Pinterest board. I found it here and it had black filled in. And it looks so good.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's actually in my trunk.
And customers either love it or hate it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I personally like the black fill.
But a designer did it. A designer did it in LA.
Okay.
In a probably $15 million home.
Wow.
It was a celebrity home on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a $3 million home here, I guess. Right.
Yeah, true.
And then the category that I didn't pull up here is the laminate. So like we were talking about the one in the display up front, which is from LW, where we have the water flowing over it just to show customers that this floor can be exposed to water. Now, I say that too with hesitation because even though these floors are sold as waterproof and they're marketed as waterproof and the consumer's asking, I want a waterproof floor. Let's be real.
I've never been asked for a waterproof floor.
Really? So, well, people come to us all the time asking for them.
I've wanted to do wood-looking floors in bathrooms, and every contractor thinks that I'm batshit crazy when I say I want to do wood in a bathroom.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, well, what are you doing in your bathroom that, like, you put a bath mat down, but if we're doing that
kind of look
works.
Go in, especially if you've got a hallway where a powder room's off of it and wanting to keep the consistency and flowing the product in there. But these types of products are going to work well for that because they're waterproof, right? Yeah. And they give you that wood look. And so that's why there's been a lot of demand from the consumers for it, is because the wood looks are really popular right now. And if we can get waterproof.
Martha Stewart always said, you always want to do hardwood floors or wood floors throughout your house, layer it with area rugs, and that's what I recommend.
I knew I liked her.
But I remember that from her show way back in the early 2000s. I don't know how that stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But we listen
All I
to whatever
remember,
Martha
she taught
says.
me how to make a bed in one of her videos in the early 90s or something like that. And so I was at home making how to make your bed properly videos. But that was my Martha experience. But
So you also pulled some amazing things here. Yeah. That texture, I just got back from High Point Market, and texture organics were trending like crazy. You obviously know me too well, and everybody knows that I love black. Yep. What are these?
So these are mosaics.
Is this tile?
Yeah, it's tile. Yep.
This seems really lightweight.
It is, yeah, and it's thinner, but really you're not going to notice that when it's up on the wall. But it definitely has some neat texture to it. I personally would grout it with black, but you could do it with a contrasting black to get a little bit more dimension and color. But
could you do it with white?
You could do white. I think my experience with doing a really dark tile, especially like this with a white grout, is you're kind of outlining it too much, and it actually takes away from the texture and dimension. True. Then if like a black would look really awesome with that.
I'm obsessed.
And I pulled some grains.
Yeah, these were trending everywhere at market.
Yeah, this tile I love. So this is a Florida tile. This is called Storied, and I love the coloring and the texturing in it, in the gloss level. But this looks awesome on an accent wall, backsplashes, anything with the green tone. And then the other one, that's also a Florida tile one. That one is
Florida Tile based in Ohio? Or don't they have? They have an office.
I know the answer to that question, but
they
I
have
know
an office
have
somewhere. Yeah, they have a warehouse here somewhere. But yeah, these are trending like these colors are trending.
Yeah,
like crazy.
Especially like this one has that kind of mottled It's not as smooth, a little bit irregular edges on it.
Yeah.
And this one's Songbird, so
Texture.
love this one. Lots of different colors in it. I just pulled the greens because they go really nice with the earth tones and the naturals and the black accents. It's definitely seeing a lot of that right now.
Yes.
Yep.
Mixed metals have always, I think we've been doing mixed metals for the last 15 years.
Right.
I still get questions. People are like, oh, is it okay to mix metals?
Mhm. I
Yes,
always
it's
say
okay.
yes.
All the time.
Yep.
And we're seeing mixed metals come out, like you were talking about this Moen faucet.
Mhm.
Now, if you were to buy a Moen faucet at, say, Lowe's, you're not going to get a true
No.
Moen faucet. You're going
That's
to
a
get a
yuck
value engineered faucet where they've
Right.
taken out the brass fittings and they're going to replace them with plastic. You're going to be buying a new faucet in a couple of years,
Yeah.
and you're probably going to end up with a leak while you're
They're
on
just not good
vacation,
quality.
and you're going to
Because
be
they're
replacing your
completely
floors.
different. Yeah, exactly.
So Moen has stepped it up. Moen's based in Cleveland, Ohio, and they've been really coming strong to the market with their design lately.
Mhm. I
This-
love this one. The
And
Cinema.
you said you have this in your house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just did this one. So Cinema has that kind of mid-century modern Art Deco kind of
Yeah.
look to it. But the nice thing about Cinema is it's available in the smart faucet, which to me, I love the technology.
He was telling me about this before we started recording,
Yeah.
and I happen to have an audio video team at my house right now doing home automation, and they're trying to program my toilets to work with the Alexa. And then
Yeah.
you told me that this faucet that you have,
Yeah.
you will tell Alexa to...
So you can talk to it. So I'll say when I'm cooking, right? If I don't want to get a measuring cup out and measure something, and she just stopped playing music because she was listening to us. But I'll say, I won't say her name because she's listening,
Oh.
but I'll say her name, and then I'll say, dispense 10 cups of 100-degree water, 80-degree water, you name it, and it knows what to do. And it'll say, okay, I'm going to run the water, and then wave your hand, put your pot under it, and you get your 10 cups of water. But it'll do it like a tablespoon. So you can have a recipe that calls for a tablespoon of water. You just say, Alexa, dispense a tablespoon of water, and it's there. So it's pretty handy. We wouldn't know that you're going to use it until you have it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I use this all the time.
Yeah.
So, but it is pretty neat.
So does this faucet, we have a mixed metal here, and I see a
Yep.
black handle.
So
Are
with
they shipping
Cinema,
these
you're
out
going to
with
get both. Yep, you're going to get the black and the brass. The really cool thing, and I'll show you here, is if you can see the end profile. I stuck with the brass on mine.
I like
Because
that
it has
there's a
this
little
cool,
bit of Art Deco.
yeah, that's what I love about it is this neat, just little arches with the Art Deco style on it.
Yeah.
But just a really neat little touch. And you can see it's got some angled lines on it, even though it's curvy. You still get the angles.
Yeah.
Really neat look to it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I am right-handed. I had to think about that.
So I have some clients that are left-handed
Okay.
and the husband's right-handed.
Uh-huh.
I've been installing these this way. So the faucet
Uh-huh.
pulls are in front
Okay.
instead of to the
I did
side.
that on my bar, on my coffee station.
Yeah,
I did it facing me because the handle's so pretty. I just
Yeah.
wanted to see it. So I did that.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think
That's another
really-
trick to the trade. If you have somebody that is left-handed, right-handed, and can't decide where to put the faucet, we
Right.
put it in the middle.
Right.
And
I'm
you
on
get to see
board
the-
with you on that. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we're in a time right now where you do whatever you want. So
with a designer
you can-
supervision.
that is true. That is true. You do need
Because
to
we've
have
seen some
you do
things
need
go.
to have a little bit of help there. It looks like you need some help putting this back, so I'll help you there. There we go.
But you pulled a bunch of blacks.
Yeah, the
How-
wood pattern too.
Yeah, we're loving. I was just in a tile showroom
Mhm.
the other day, and they were pulling out wood. Would you do a wood backsplash?
Personally,
I'm
no, not in a
anti-farmhouse.
kitchen. Yeah, I am too. And,
And
I like
this is like,
I like a classy look in the kitchen. I mean, I think this is really neat. I would love that in maybe a bar area. Would be awesome. I don't know that I would do it on a kitchen backsplash though, but maybe a bar backsplash. I would do it in a bathroom accent wall. I think it could be really cool.
that would
I
be.
don't think I'd use it in a shower. Sometimes people want to use the wood look tiles in a shower, and every time I hear that, I'm like,
Well, the wood ceramic tiles were trending forever,
yeah,
and
but
they've
not
now
in
been.
the I don't want them in the shower.
Well, I had a designer just ask me last night for wood tiles that she
Yeah.
wants to put in a shower.
Yeah, we hear it, but I mean, we also give our opinions, and that's one thing that's nice about working with a professional from ProSource, right?
Yes.
Is most of us have been in the business for a long time. We're highly trained. We're skilled. We know the industry just like
Yes.
the people you trust at your plumbing department and everywhere else you go. So, we focus to be a one-stop shop to have a lot of solutions. And
You
and
even have,
just
I
know,
pulled
I
this.
feel like it's our obligation to say that's going to look great or that's not going to be the best
whether
idea.
it's going to be dated
We just had
or
a
not.
lady in here when you were setting up. She was looking at some naturals, and then she pulled an all gray palette. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'd go back to that gray palette. It's
People are
stay away
asking.
from
I
that.
call Dorian Gray Ohio Gray. It's
Uh-huh.
SW7
Yeah,
something, but everybody uses Dorian Gray. I'm
Yeah.
so over seeing
Yeah,
Dorian Gray.
Yeah. In Ohio, we get stuck with stuff a little bit longer sometimes. So we have to push it out of the way faster. So that's our obligation to the
Yes.
industry, being in Ohio.
You have great hardware selections too.
Yeah, you
and
pulled
this
a
is really
Richelieu.
unique. I picked this because it's one of the unique ones, but you have you've
We have tons of
curated
hardware.
You've curated and you kind of have access to everything.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
These are I don't know
just
about the
neat and they're
blue,
fun.
but yeah, I
they're
love
fun.
these. This is from
Richelieu.
Richelieu.
Yep, Richelieu. They're a huge company.
They are.
Tons and tons of hardware, and we have,
They are.
hundreds of their
You
stuff
can
in
only
here.
get them through a showroom like ProSource, because I just had a designer the other day talking about this line, and they're not really designer friendly, so we have to work with the showroom. To get into the showroom, you need to have a designer.
Yeah.
I don't recommend going into a showroom with your builder. Nothing against the builders, but Bob the builder is not going to know what's trending and what's not trending, because Bob the builder is going, but with anything designery or fun, like straight men don't really have an eye. Most of them are colorblind, and they don't really, I'm not saying this is a bad way, but they'll just pick out whatever, as long as it's utilitarian and they have their Bubba sofa with a cup holder and it reclines. It takes the woman of the home and the designer to elevate the space to be something more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
And you kind of get stuck, like the builder will be like, oh, there's carpet. We just need carpet.
Right.
And they don't think of what kind of carpet, what kind of material.
Right.
So,
and I mean, many of the good
nothing
builders,
bad against builders. It's
and a lot of the great builders that we work with, they're relying on their designers, and they're relying on their kitchen bath designer. They're relying on their trade professional, their dedicated account manager at ProSource. They're relying on our opinions. And, the builders, I mean, a lot of your builders are very engineer-minded, and they're very technical-minded, because we need the house to stay standing up.
Yes.
And I think if you and I built the house, it might be like, but we're great at making the spaces nice, functional, aesthetically pleasing, right? But there's more to it than just it's pretty. It has to be functional. It has to hold up a long time, right?
Yes.
And that's, again,
I always
your point
focus
with
on
the mowing.
timeless.
Yeah, like the Moen hardware. You go buy one at Lowe's Depot, any of the other places that
And
are
people don't
they're not
know where to
showroom
go.
quality.
Like, a lot of people don't know what we know as designers and trade professionals. They don't know about places like ProSource. If you do hear of it, your builder will probably send you to a place like Ferguson's, which is basically build.com. And if you don't work with somebody that's knowledgeable in the industry, you can tend to get misled in a situation in that that kind of showroom setting. But there's multiple different showrooms. This is a multi-line showroom, right? Like you carry, like we have different separate plumbing showrooms, so you have a collection of everything.
Right, and that's the ProSource model across the country, right? Is trying to be a one-stop shop where we've got lots of different LVP. I mean, you've seen our LVP department.
I have them memorized.
Literally thousands of LVPs. And within under that umbrella, we have many brands that are private labeled. In private, that they're exclusive. You're not going to find them anywhere else but ProSource. But we also carry a lot of your running mill stuff. So your standard stuff from, say, Stanton you mentioned, right? You're going to be able to get Stanton anywhere, but you're going to be able to get it here as well.
And if you guys are following me on Instagram and you've seen any of my recent projects that include a stair runner, the carpet has always come from ProSource. And my amazing account executive, is that right?
Account manager.
My account manager, I'll call her and I'll just say, I have a set of stairs. How much carpet do I need? And she's like, well, Danny, how many stairs? I go, I don't know. What's the normal number of stairs? And I end up hearing from my carpet installers that I'm one of the only designers that actually orders more than enough carpet, because I'd rather have more than not enough.
Right.
And I've heard of situations where the designers run out of product. The product is then discontinued. And you guys are really good if we do make a mistake. You guys are really good at rectifying that.
Oh yeah, and we want to be preventative, right? We want to be
Oh, yeah.
proactive instead of reactive. So one thing we're really good at is asking those questions,
Yeah.
right?
Well, when I
So-
do end up with extra carpet, I end up making another runner, a doormat, or
Right,
I'll
we'll
use
tell
it
you
for
what you
something
can
else.
do with it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's all usually special order at that point, and it's here. So
Yes.
let's think of how we can creatively use all of it, right?
Yes, we do.
So yeah, but that's one thing that working with a trade professional or it really is a trade professional at
Yes.
ProSource. Is that they're knowledgeable and they're going to be able to help you through that process. Not that you don't know it. A lot of the people we do know the industry very well.
Yes.
But we're all human, right?
Yeah.
So when you've got somebody that you can be on the same page with that understands how you think, like a lot of ProSource account managers, they're in sync with the designers they're working with. They know if that builder's capable of picking out the really awesome look, or if that builder might need a little of their help, right?
Yes.
And so we're really selective in how we go about every project's a little bit different, right? And in every client and every designer that we're working with is a little bit different too.
Oh, you
right?
think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit
Like,
different?
there's some that we have to hold on to their hand a little bit more, and we're totally good with that. It's what we're great at.
There's some that come flying in like a bat out of hell, and
there's some
grab
that take
things
our
and fly out the
samples,
door.
and then we don't have our nicest samples to show our customers, and we're like,
I don't
won't
know.
name any names,
I don't know
but
who you're talking
DAN,
about.
and what? Like,
Where's
where's those samples at?
Tell me a little bit. I've not used the service, but you do have a kitchen and bath designer on staff.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how that process works, because some designers do it in house, and some designers use your kitchen and bath designer. How does that? I guess we're talking to designers. How does that work?
Well, see, that's where I tell a lot of the trade professionals that your ProSource account manager can be your cheapest employee because you're not going to pay us to work for you. And we do have a designer that's extremely knowledgeable with 2020 is the software that we use to do kitchen design. We have 6 different cabinet lines, and she's very knowledgeable in those. And the majority of ProSource locations across the country are going to have a kitchen and bath department now. There's very few that don't, but most of them are going to have a kitchen and bath department. They're going to have a designer. And so the account manager works with that designer. So typically the builder or the designer is bringing into their account manager their dimensions, the rough dimensions of their space, whether it's a primary bathroom or a kitchen remodel. And then we're really walking them through that process of what's budget look like for you? What does style and aesthetic look like for you? Are we talking a weight shaker cabinet? Do we want to do a wood tone? What's the feel that we want to get? Once we have those kind of ground rules established, if you will, then we're looking at, here's dimensions. We're giving those over to our kitchen and bath designer. And in our case, she is putting together a design that's hopefully going to appeal to the client. And then the account manager will meet with the builder or the designer and the client, whoever needs to be there, and present that design. And ultimately, we're trying to put together a plan that's going to be, again, aesthetic.
Planning is always key. Planning.
Yeah.
A lot of designers will do their own in-house their own in-house kitchen and bath designs. I'm really good at doing a bathroom. I could produce a kitchen, but I could tell you there are so many little minuscule details that go into a kitchen design that if they're overlooked, your project can go south really quick.
Well, see, and that's where it can be a
also
time
add
save
up.
for you, right?
Yes.
It's not just a double check and a triple check. It's also a time save because if you can be off designing your next project while our kitchen and bath designer and your account manager is working with that client to really make your vision come to reality and to do the background stuff on the design, that's what we're here for, is to support the trade professional.
I need to be using that more.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's awesome because so many builders will hire a specialist to do 2020 and to do kitchen design. ProSource offers it's for free.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's not use the 4-letter word free.
Well, it's a free service. We're not going to give
I got
you
a
the
scary
design
email the other
right
day.
away, but yeah.
I got a scary email today that was the worst 4 words I've ever seen.
Oh no.
Free interior design services.
It's never free, right?
And it came from, I guess I could say it, it's a podcast.
Okay.
It came from Pottery Barn.
Okay.
Which I lovingly refer to as Poverty Barn. And
Danny.
they overcharge and they underperform. And when me and Melinda have covered designers, and when you're working with the in-store designer, they only have access to the things that X store sells, like Pottery Barn, like Restoration Hardware.
Right.
Whereas at a ProSource, you have access to not even what's on the floor, you have access to even more.
Right. There's not much that we can't get. I mean, if it's going in your home, with the exception we don't do furniture, we don't do appliances, but the hardscapes that are going in the house, the flooring, the countertops, the cabinets, all those things, we can get them.
Yeah.
I mean, and we carry a vast variety of brands. I mean, we have the Moen stuff here, but we also have Delta. We have
Kohler.
All kinds of brands, right? Kohler, lots of cool Kohler stuff.
All of my flooring and all of my carpet, and Melinda, who's not here today, all of her flooring and carpet, we all get it from ProSource. There's very few times where we have to go outside of the realm of ProSource to find something unless it's a unique situation. Now, we have listeners from all over the world. What are their expectations if a designer were to go into a ProSource, say in another city?
Sure.
Because I've heard designers go into a ProSource in Cleveland or a ProSource in North Carolina, and they don't get the same service that I always talk to them about.
Yeah,
and I'm
I hate
always
to hear
promoting.
that, because I'm such an ambassador of the brand.
Yeah.
So I hate to hear that stuff, and hopefully it gets rectified in those markets. But yeah, I mean,
but you guys have a national conference that happens right around. Like all the ProSource managers, don't you all meet before
I feel like as an organization, we're very well connected.
Yeah.
And I interact with a lot of other managers in the ProSource network all across the country. We meet up annually for conferences, and we bounce ideas off of each other all the time. So I think we have that's one of the things that I love about the ProSource brand is we have a good family of people that are all very knowledgeable and enjoy and like what we do. I mean, there's great people here. And so that passes on to the customer experience, right? And so I hate to hear that somebody at another location might have a bad experience or not get the best pricing. But, for us, ProSource
if you're a designer that's listening to this and you're not in the Ohio market, because Lloyd runs the store here in Columbus, Ohio, as well as Dayton, Ohio. If you're in another market, reach out to the manager if you're not getting the support you need from your sales
account manager. You can call them whatever you want to. Just
reach out to the store manager, because I've heard some stories and I've guided some designers. I've guided some of you in the Carolinas on what to do and how to rectify a situation that has come up. But you have been very good over 10 years. Even if we make a mistake somehow or something gets messed up, we've always had a perfect solution for it.
Right. And that's the thing. We don't promise that there's never going to be a problem.
No, there's always, it's design. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Something's going to go wrong at some point. Exactly. But what we can promise is how we're going to respond to that, right? How are we going to handle that when it does happen? Yes. And that's what we try to do a great job at. So for the designers, the trade professionals, that's what they want to count on. I mean, they know that there's craziness everywhere, right? And so it's just how we respond to those. And that's where I was going back with saying, if we can be proactive instead of reactive, that's really what we try to be, right? It's all about planning. It's all about communication.
Yes. And communication is always key.
Exactly. Because the products, we have them all. I mean, and again, we're trying to be that one-stop shop and have everything, all the resources, but you also have to have the resource of your account manager being knowledgeable and a good showroom manager.
Yes. And I've learned so much from coming in here, down to the weaves of carpet, the different types of carpet, the different polymers of shag, the different paddings that go under carpet. We were talking about vapor barriers earlier, and I'm still interested. So I would never, I've removed engineered wood floors that have been glued down to concrete. It is a nightmare. But I'm interested to know, what vapor barrier would you use, or when does concrete? What I researched, concrete fully cures at about 10 years. It dries out. Can I then put
not necessarily, because you can still be getting vapor transmission through it. Even though the concrete cures, it's still permeable. Right, it's still permeable.
But if it's not on the ground floor.
Okay, so like a penthouse.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So but still, we don't know what's going on in the unit below. We don't know what kind of moisture levels coming up. Right. I mean, so what's interesting is a lot of these waterproof floors in the LVP category, even though they're rated waterproof, Cortec, for example, which is one of the
corkback ones. I have that in my warehouse.
Most famous known, right? The most name brand recognition. They require that if you're putting any of their products, their waterproof products, over concrete, you have to have a 6 mil poly vapor barrier, right?
And that's that
and we
black
think, well, why do I need that if it's waterproof? Well, you do. That's just the simple answer. So,
2 questions for you. Can you install a different type of flooring? Let's say I have tile floor, and I actually did this, and I think
Okay.
you actually sent me the product.
Uh-oh.
You did. And it was in Texas.
Oh,
and it
yeah,
was
I
for a
remember
TV
that.
show.
Yep.
We actually installed a Cortec product over tile.
Mhm.
There are actual products that are made to do that. It came out very well.
Right.
But when I posted the pictures, I had some designers being like, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that. Right on the box, it says, you can do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, to start, I always say you're only good as the product you're putting it over top of, right? So there's always going to be situations where you can, like I said earlier, there's always a way to do something, right?
yeah.
There's always going to be instances where you can do it, but there's going to be a lot of steps that you need to. For example, with tile, a lot of the products that you're going to put over tile, you have to go back and fill and smooth trowel where that grout line is so that you don't have that dimple down. Otherwise, it could telegraph through the new floor the imperfections and the grout lines and stuff.
Told me that.
I think I did tell you that.
If you find Danny Does Design somewhere, we filmed it during the pandemic in Dallas, and we had all of this on footage, and Danny actually tried to install the floor.
That was interesting.
Oh, God.
It was an experience.
Yes.
It was a learning experience.
That I would never do again. Hire a professional.
Professional.
Yes. Danny can do a lot.
Mhm.
Danny can install a floor. Danny should not be installing a floor.
But you learn how it gets done. And,
Yes.
I prefer not to install the floors, but I know how to recognize who can do it and who can't do it.
Exactly.
And when it's being done.
And
right.
another thing you provide to us as trade professionals is a nice list of installers for carpet,
Oh, yeah.
installers for flooring, and we have installer 1, 2, 3. And whenever we need a job, it just depends on who's available. We direct them to.
Yep. And
Have you vetted those contractors? Are they vetted with you,
Definitely.
or are they just?
So
Okay. I'm just making sure.
everything that we sell has to be installed, right?
Yes.
But we don't install it at ProSource. We're not going to put on your invoice the labor,
Right.
which the whole purpose behind that is you're buying wholesale material and you're buying direct labor, right?
Yes.
And we're helping connect our trade professionals with the installers to put that product in, okay? And it's so that you're not paying markup. You're buying your labor at a wholesale rate and you're buying material from us at a wholesale rate, where
Yes.
everybody else in town, they're going to want a piece of that pie and they're marking it up. And,
Yes.
there's some good that comes with that. But really, as far as vetting people, we've got people that have worked with us for years and years. I mean, Kim's been here over 30 years. She's got installers that she's worked with a huge amount of the time.
And the nice
that
thing
she's
about
been
it,
here.
she can tell me when I'm doing an estimate, like a rough estimate, she'll tell me, oh, add this on for labor if you're using this person, if this person, it's this
Right.
amount. And I'm able to get, instead of having to wait for somebody to come out, look at the job,
Mhm.
cost me a week of time waiting to get a number back, I can get a number done in a couple hours.
Exactly. And
That's
if we just need to get you a ballpark. And,
Yeah.
with the other part is that just like all designers are not created equal, right? We can agree with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not all installers are equal.
No.
So there are installers that we would recommend in a $2, $3, $5 million home that we wouldn't necessarily recommend for a flip.
Yeah.
Right? So an investor who's looking to flip a house really fast and it's going to be on the market, they might not need the same craftsmanship that a client living in a $5 million
They
home
should
is going
need
to
that
want.
craftsmanship,
They
because then
should.
we end up going in and fixing the flip.
But sometimes they don't have the same budget.
That should be my new show.
They don't always have the
fix
same
the
budget.
flip.
Fix the flip.
I can
think
go
that
in
might be a thing,
on a
but
different
maybe.
network and go into the HDTV Fix It or Flip It shows, and I
It or
can
Flip
call
It,
my
List It
show
or Like It
Fix
or
the
something.
Flip.
Okay.
Because there's so many times we've done that.
Right.
And
But that's where budget comes in too, right?
Yeah.
So with all installers not being created equal, they don't all charge the same price either.
No.
And so your account manager is going to be able to work with you and say, okay, what's the budget on this product? What is the needs of the client? What is the expectation of the client? Well,
Yes.
here's 3 people that could be a good fit for them.
Yeah.
Right. And here's 3 people that could be a fit for this one. And that's where they're going to guide you and hopefully ease some of that headache away from you. Right. Because there
hardest
are jobs where you just want it done fast, easy.
Yeah.
The
hardest thing to do in our business is getting people to show up to work when they're supposed to
Sure.
and get the job done in the
Correctly.
correctly and
on time.
on time and in
Right.
budget.
We say we don't have a
And-
lot of expectations, but we do.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And then as a designer, we end up fielding the stress for the client.
Right.
And that's the value of having a designer.
Exactly.
We make it look like very simple, but you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes of a project.
And that's one thing. I have a lot of respect for all of our installers. I mean,
I
and I think a lot of times the general consensus is, oh, they're the laborer. They're the ones putting the floor in. It's easy. Just go do it. Get it done. It's not the reality of it, right?
No.
Especially when they're working with designers like us that come up with these crazy layouts and then they're left to deal with it on the job site and you didn't completely think it through, right?
Yes.
So, I have a lot of respect for the installers because it is hard. It's physical labor. And I think that's why there's a hard time finding them, because that's hard to do. It's hard on your body. It's hard mentally. You're in somebody's home. They're looking over your shoulder. And think about it.
I always tell people, please don't be home when we're doing your project.
Exactly.
Go somewhere.
Would you like your boss watching you while you're at work?
No. And then it's
don't watch them.
Why does it look like this? Why does this look like this? Well, you're looking at an unfinished piece of art.
Exactly.
So
let them
wait until we're done
Right.
and then look at it as a whole.
Right.
And I think a lot of clients have an issue with that, because they're there every day and they're seeing the project unfold and they're seeing the grittiness, the dirtiness, the messiness.
Right. They're really seeing what they shouldn't see.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. It's like looking at a Van Gogh while Van Gogh is on break.
Trust him to fix it. Trust him to make it, the vision come to life. And, I think a lot of that, it does start with the account manager. It starts with the designer, meeting in the local showroom, picking product out, building on that, and getting vetted installers out to the job site. And, even though we're not charging our trade professionals or our members for the labor, we still hear about how it gets installed. We still, we still have some.
Melinda's been working with you guys since you've been here. I think
a long time. Yeah,
Melinda's been here with you. You've been here for 20 years. Because Melinda is the one that got me into here.
Yeah,
and I thank God.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, but the installers are equally important as the product we're selling.
They are,
right, because it has to be installed and it has to be installed well. So,
and we have great relationships with all of them.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, once you're really connected at your local ProSource showroom and you're well connected with your dedicated account manager, once all that falls into play, they're going to know who to refer to, and you're going to get to where you have your go-to installers if you don't already. Yeah. Right. And if you do, you're going to find some new ones, right, that do a great job for you. And that's where your team. It's where we help you with your business. Right, because
teamwork makes the dream work.
Usually, right. Sometimes it just makes it messier, but usually you're right. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? So,
so can people? I guess clients wouldn't be able to go online. Could they? Could our clients go online and see what you offer?
So I always encourage people not. There's a lot of things that are great to buy online, right? Flooring, cabinets, countertops, really not one of those things.
No.
Because your
cabinets can be so, I've seen people buy cabinets at Home Depot from online and they are the cheapest pieces of...
The thing is, the average consumer might do a kitchen one time in their lifetime.
Yes.
Right? And so I can kind of compare it to getting married, right? You're not going to go get your wedding dress. You're not going to just pick it out online and be like, that's the one. I mean, I hope people aren't doing that. I hope that's
well,
not
if you're, what's her name, Elizabeth Taylor, you're getting married 8, 9, 10 times.
Okay, so that's a bad example. But I think it's very important to see it in person. And there's a lot of parts and pieces, right? So like in our ProSource showroom, we have these islands and these workstations all over the place where designers can come in and put down 10 different samples and overlay them and stack them and say, okay, this faucet looks good with that, which complements this, which works with that.
We didn't talk about this. But no, I love how the new Kohler fixtures and the new Moen fixtures, they all come out and you can place them next to a sink to see it with the sink and take the hardware and put it by the cabinet. You can pull the slab door out and you can see the actual look that you're going to get, touch it, feel it, which a lot of people still want to do. I have a client that he won't buy these bathroom faucets. I know which faucet he needs.
See, and that's why you're not going to be able to do it online. Because if you look at, say, a Moen faucet at homedepot.com and you look at a Moen faucet here, you're not going to feel that handle functions way nicer. You're not going to know that it's brass parts inside. You're not going to be able to see that online as easy as you are going to be coming into a showroom. And, at Columbus ProSource, we've made our showroom very user-friendly so that the customers can take stuff off the wall. They can take it off the displays. All of the carpet samples will lift out. You can pair them and overlay everything. And then you're also getting the feedback that's what to me is very important, that you're not going to get online. You're going to have your account manager and other other professionals in the showroom that are going to listen to you and hear, like, what do you want the space to look at, like, what's important to you, and then make suggestions for you. And they're going to be able to do that here.
Yes.
They're not going to do that in your living room while you're on the net.
No,
you know?
And
this
always
is
trust your
something
designer, because we go to the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, the International Builders Show. We actually ran into each other on a flight last February and ended up at an Adele concert.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Randomly,
right.
While we were seeing the new trends for kitchen and bath.
Yep.
And we see so much that the general consumer doesn't get to see.
Exactly.
You're only seeing. We have like 6 faucets here. We see
thousands,
right. If not hundreds of thousands.
And like you mentioned it earlier, where I'm curating stuff.
Yes.
You know, that's one thing we do a great job at ProSource in Columbus, is we curate products that are going to be relevant, are going to be current looks, so that the consumer doesn't have to go through thousands of things, right?
Yes.
Even though we have them here, we're going to be able to point you in
and
the
it
right
can be
direction.
very overwhelming. I've taken clients into a showroom and they're just like, they look around, they're like, how do you do this every day?
Right.
I'm like, it's what we do. And they're like 10 to 15 minutes attention span, and that's it.
Right.
So if you're in the Ohio market, come see Lloyd at ProSource of Columbus on Treby Road. If you're in Dayton, Ohio, where's the store in Dayton?
Dayton is in the south part of Dayton. I mean, there's ProSources all over the country.
There are. And if you're having an issue with your current ProSource, feel free to call Lloyd, and
don't do that.
Okay, I won't offer it, but we could maybe courier you some product.
I mean, if you're having problems with anything at a local ProSource, I would just call your account manager. If you're not getting where you want with them, reach out to the showroom manager. I mean,
but I've have projects in Minneapolis, New York, Chicago, Nashville,
we'll
Texas,
ship them there for you.
And we've gotten my products there.
Yeah.
We're working in Canton, Ohio, and we're getting product to go up there.
Yep, we'll figure out a way to get it there.
Yes, so follow ProSource. I think you have an Instagram, right?
I think so. ProSource of Columbus. ProSource Wholesale Columbus.
Yes, follow your local ProSource. Reach out to your local account reps and get some knowledge from them. They host events all the time. It's a lot of product knowledge with different carpet vendors, flooring vendors.
We're doing a KBIS review in March 13th here. We're doing a review of all the cool stuff at KBIS and food trucks.
Are you hiring me to present? Because I'll be, I just booked my flight this morning.
We're doing food trucks. We're doing photo headshots for trade professionals. So it'll be a fun event.
I don't know if they can handle my headshots.
I don't know. We'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes and good lighting.
I'll bring my own lighting. I'll bring my own photographer.
Okay, do that.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy designing. Happy Friday. And good luck.
Good luck.
Bye, guys.